But going forward, we are going to rebrand our broadband strategy and our services.
Hello, this is Shomodi Vishwas from
And the way
Times
we
Nation.
go
We are
about,
here at
this conference is
GTPL
basically today
KCBPL
and for
press
that
release,
we have
and
our
they have
eminent
said how they will be
panelists
focusing
from
on the
our
broadband
company
connection
who take
with the
you through
help
the
of
strategies
cable
that we
operators.
have planned.
Even they have said the
Thank
cable
you.
operators will become the digital superhero with
The
the
idea for
help
us is
of
to, as
50
GTPL
years
KCBPL,
of
in
customer
past
trust
15 odd
in
years,
over
we've been in the cable
90%
space
of
to our cable
the
operators. So
pin
all of you
codes.
must have
They will
at
be
some point used
focusing
our cable
their
TV services.
broadband.
And eventually, as times have changed, as some of you may be now only using a broadband service or looking to change the way you get entertained, the relevance of a cable operator has changed. But don't you miss the interaction you had with him? The kind of relationship you had where you didn't have to call a call center. You could call him by his darknam, call him whenever you wanted at night, in the morning. And we realized that this entire relation was changing. So we are now coming up with all sorts of services that will define your new entertainment needs, your use for internet, your usage for calling, a combined service wherein the cable operator will become the digital superman. He will not only remain a cable operator who you call when your cable TV is not working, but if you require a system, a software, your son requires an editing software, or you require, a tally, you would be able to call the cable operator and he'll provide you with all sorts of services. He will be the one giving you internet, he will be the one giving you CCTV facility, he will give you OTT bouquets, everything that you need, which you earlier could get from a cable TV operator, would again be redefined. And that's what we as GTPL want to re-emphasize, that a relationship is very important. The way you are now probably using a multinational service, there is no connect. You don't even know who's the owner of that service, or you can't reach out to the owner. So we are trying to create a hybrid where the ownership and the relationship with the cable operator stays, and you still get the best of services that you're currently taking from various different service providers. I will ask Mitrunda to further elaborate on this.
We thought that heavily marketing, by heavily into advertising, we were not there, but we were very silently working with our strong points, which is the huge business partners network that we have in Kolkata and the rest of Bengal. What happens is, between the need of the people and the ones who are wanting to fulfill that need, there is always a gap for most of the operators, which is a challenge. But for us, that is the biggest strength. Because in between, we have our network partners who are called the cable or broadband operators. So leveraging them, we have been providing all our services. Leveraging them, we will be providing the services way forward as well. If you wish to add, Anushda, anything on this?
Yeah, hi, welcome. GTPL KCBPL, our strength is our service, not only ours but also our partner cable operators. And be it the pandemic period or even during the calamities like Amphan, we have been able to provide and maintain our highest standards of services. And in fact, we have our own laid down parameters, which is
you would see, all of us who are here must be using broadband services from some or the other ISP. So don't you think that this space is actually overcrowded? So many people coming and claiming that I provide high speed, I provide this, I provide that. There are so many operators. Few of the names which people would probably remember are the ones which are bigger brands for some other businesses. Maybe I am not naming them, but I'm talking about the telcos. They never have been broadband players. But you've been able to associate the newer offerings from them because of the brand image that they have been able to create over a period of time. Our distinctive advantage is the fact that, similar to them, we have been here in this market for more than 15 years now, with an established credibility and trust from the business partners as well as customers. So, basis that, we think that the success, the response which you have got, because we always believe that we are like a company from West Bengal, kind of vocal for local, and typically that Bengali psych industry. All this coupled together we are very confident that way forward, the kind of revolutionary changes which we are bringing in, we will ensure that whenever it comes to broadband, we will be one of the most relevant names that people will reckon with.
Adding on to that, when we talk about a local business like us, we always talk about the partners that we work with. So difference between us and a telco is that there's 6,000 odd business owners who are distributing our service. And when an owner is further, attached to a business, that owner really cares about each of their customers. When you talk to your cable operator, he's a business owner and he knows all 100, 200, 500 families he's catering to. Whereas you will never be able to reach out to a telco business owner. That's a different ballgame altogether. So, if you really want to keep it relevant, wherein your problems are being heard, where your daughters or your family members' problems are personalized, that's when the cable operator becomes a lot more relevant. And we realized that in Amphan. In Amphan, people were unable to reach out to call centers because nothing was working, right? You had to get hold of someone physically. And the cable operators were always 2 lanes away. All moved to the more sophisticated and the complex services. You may not have this touch. And they will all try and churn you for money. A cable operator, it may sound weird, would charge differently back in the day. It cannot, because it would realize that what your requirements were, they would be your personal you can say they would customize your service even back in the day, telling you that okay, you're just an elderly at home, you don't need these channels, or I know you will not be able to afford a higher pack, pay us whatever you can. So that needs to still stay in the system for the future generations as well. That's an appeal.
The landscape that we talk about when we look at a metro.
So, I have a question. Like you have said about tier 1, tier 2 cities. So our rural India is they are developing. So how you will cater rural India with your provided services and all?
As we speak currently also, a large base of the customers that we have are from tier 3, 4. We have already reached, as he rightly said, to 90-95% of all the pin codes in the state. So 95% of the pin codes will only be reached if we are concurrently present in smaller towns and villages of tier 3, 4. So we have arrived, we have already reached. We are now tapping, understanding, do they require broadband? Can they afford broadband? If we realize whenever they are ready, whenever the market is ready, whenever they say yes, come serve us, we already have infrastructure in place, we already have partners in place. It is a matter of weeks for us to be able to cater that.
Like a lot of our business is from rural areas.
Will it be affordable for them?
Of course, I think affordability is key to our services. As she was mentioning, a lot of people talk about brands, but those are not the people who really care about the affordability. I'm not saying that they don't, but they are able to spend a little higher. For companies like us, affordability is the key to be able to compete with other players, right? So for us, every time we go to the market, we will focus on service quality and affordability. We would rather put our money behind the service than on a brand ambassador or on advertisements on the road. Because we know that the customers will test the service first. And if they're convinced, they will not care who's put a big hoarding out there. If it is affordable, I can't, so every company has certain price of product, and then that price of product is often taken a notch higher because they spend on advertising. We for the longest believed that we do not need to advertise as long as we can reach out to the masses, to everyone who wants a service. It's utility, right? This has become utility. As long as it's affordable, only then it will stay relevant.
The package and all, they will stay the same as it is.
The packaging will stay more or less the same. They will of course be so they keep changing based on the requirements from the ground. If tomorrow, as and when you may end up doing things that require more data, as we have seen post the pandemic, the data requirements have shot up. But at the same time, the salaries may not have shot up. So eventually our offerings may change based on how much a person is willing to pay and at what price. So currently we don't have any plans of changing the packages or the pricing, but going forward, based on the requirement from the ground, we may have to adapt.
Can you please? One is a height that you can create because of your financial prowess. You are creating a height. actually comes to service delivery, that is where you get tested. I respect all the competitive brands which are there in market because competition na thakle, the urge to improve থাকে না. There must be some challenge, but yes, challenge হলেই তখন এরকম ধরনের প্রশ্ন আছে যেটা আপনি আমাদের বললেন। আমরা শুরু থেকে যে জিনিসটা হার্প করছি, দেখুন জিও বা অন্যান্য যে টেলিকম অপারেটরই মার্কেটে অপারেট করুক না কেন, বাট আজকে আমাদের যারা বিজনেস পার্টনার্সরা আছে তারা 15 বছরের উপর হয়ে গেছে যারা আমাদের সাথে আজকে অ্যাসোসিয়েটেড আছে। সিমিলারলি আমাদের যে কাস্টমার বেস আছে, দে আর স্টিকিং টু আস। এই 15 বছরে কি ডিসরাপশন হয়নি? এই 15 বছরে কি চেঞ্জেস আসেনি? সো ওয়াই আর দে স্টিকিং উইথ আস? দেখুন, অ্যাডভার্টাইজ করে একটা হাইপ ক্রিয়েট করতে সময় লাগে না, ট্রাস্ট বিল্ড করতে সময় লাগে। আর যেটা সবথেকে ইম্পর্টেন্ট, দ্যাট মানে ফর এনি কনজিউমার টু বি স্টিকিং অন টু আ প্রোডাক্ট, the most important factor is trust. We have the trust of the consumers.
So how are you going to compete with the 5G coming 5G?
See, I'm unaware of what 5G will be. None of us are aware. I'll be more than happy to make a normal call without a network outage. So talking about 5G is way far ahead of ourselves. And 5G, I feel, I don't know if it will be able to cater to the wide variety of customers we have. As we mentioned, we have customers not only in tier 1, tier 2, but tier 3, tier 4 as well. Will it be able to serve them the same sort of speed and download capacity at the price point that we are? So it's still a big question mark. To even think of them as direct competition would be wrong. They will coexist. The 4G is coexisting with us. It has not slowed us down. DTH coexisted with cable TV. So I think in a country like ours, different people have different requirements. We will all, and there will be some customers who will need both. Who will have a 5G, who will also have a broadband, who will also have a cable TV, who will also watch OTT.
I have an interesting point to make, just to to carry forward from what Ankit was saying. This is very interesting, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. When you announce the arrival of 4G, your 3G becomes 2G. All of a sudden you see that the downloads, the speeds and so on and so forth, downloading things in the mountain and probably in the space and wherever I'm going, I'm able to download everything. The speed of 3G. Then comes 4G. All of a sudden we see that now 3G has become worse than a 2G also. I'm not able to download, I'm not able to upload, I'm not able to see the speeds which have been promised. So I believe with the promise of 5G, 4G does not become 3G.
That will answer.
So I hope I answered your question.
But কিছু কিছু কাস্টমার